One of the great new features in Mozaik version 11 is the ability to nominate a roughing tool to the first pass of an onion skin. So you can see here I've got the help menu up, and you can see the roughing tool type option here where it's displaying a roughing tool coming through and doing the first pass of an onion skin, leaving the onion skin thickness behind, and perhaps even oversizing the first pass by a nominal amount, and then coming back in with a compression cutter to finish off the cut. And some people use this as a combination of two compression cutters. They might keep an old compression cutter and assign that to be the roughing tool, and then put a fresh brand new compression cutter in to be the clean or finishing tool in this combination. Otherwise, you can go out and purchase a dedicated roughing tool, which is designed for removing bulk material at a faster rate. The option now in version 11 is that you can nominate which tool is going to be your roughing tool. So let's take a look at how that works. I'm going to jump out of the help file here and go back into Mozaik. So the area you want to be in is the tool library. To access this area, you need to be in the optimizer, and then you want to go to the libraries and then into CNC tooling. So when you're in the CNC tooling area here, we're going to take a look at a tool set. So what you'll see now on a tool set is that we've got a new option to define a roughing tool. So what I'm going to do in this example, I'm going to create a new tool. I'm going to copy an existing one, create a new tool, and assign that as my roughing tool. So back on the tool properties tab, I'm going to select my 10mm 3-wing compression cutter. I'm just going to rename this one, and instead of compression, I'm just going to use the word finish at the end, just to nominate that that's my finishing tool. And then I'm going to copy that tool, and I'm going to change the word there to be rough or roughing, and hit OK. So now at the bottom of the list here, I have a new option, which is my 10mm 3-wing roughing tool. And I'm going to nominate this to be my roughing tool by ticking the application option on at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to turn off the cutout option. And so what I'm going to do there is go into my ATC toolset, and I'm going to insert that tool into my group. Now note, for most machines, it is important that you line up the tool number according to where it is on your machine. So if you have 10 tools and this happens to be number 10, then it's in the right position. If you have only 8 tools, then you might need to swap them out, or you might just need to press the up and down arrow to assign that to whichever position it needs to be in. So if it happened to be in position number 2, then you would move it up to position number 2. Now note, if you do have multiple cutout or roughing tools in the tool set, Mozaik will use the first one in the list. So if you're running a machine that is based on tool name rather than tool number, you can just move that to the top of the list, and that's going to be the first roughing tool that it will choose. Otherwise, if you are using a machine that works on tool numbers, it is important for you to get that number right. If you're unsure about how to do this, it's probably best to reach out and schedule some online training for assistance in this matter. So what we're going to do here is take a look at the result of using this new tool set now, and how that changes the effect when we're looking at the toolpath generation on a particular sheet. So we're going to go in and press calculate on one of these sheets, and I can show you here what we're getting here is a roughing pass for these smaller parts. So it's going through and using my tool number 2, the 10mm 3-wing roughing tool, and then it's going to come back over those parts with the 10mm 3-wing finishing tool. Note, if you've got small part strategies assigned, it will do the small parts first and then come back and do the larger parts next. That approach is really useful, but some people like to just try and minimize the amount of tool changes that are happening. So if you want a preference to make sure that it's not doing as many tool changes there, you can go into your setup and change the way the small part strategy works. So I'm going to go back to the optimize tab and into cutout options. And what I'm going to do down here is change my small part area size. So I'm just going to zero that out and zero out the small part nomination. And I'm going to go back to my patterns tab. And this time when I generate my G code and calculate, you'll see that it's roughing all of the parts first and then coming back and finishing them all off as well. So it's no longer preferencing to do those small components first. So you can use that either which way it suits your business best. So if you are running a CNC and you have enough tool spaces available in your tool changer, it is a good idea to run a separate tool for your roughing pass. That way your finishing pass can stay nice and clean and sharp and last longer, giving you overall a better result. If you want to make sure that the roughing pass is oversized, so that way your finishing pass removes a slight amount of material afterwards, you can do that in the cutout options. You can go back to cutout options and you can nominate your skin offset amount there, which is the amount that it's oversizing. If you're unsure of any of these features, you can press the blue question mark, and that's going to take you into a nice helpful article that's going to show you exactly what each of these controls. So you can see our skin offset is the amount that it's oversizing that first pass when it's doing the roughing pass. So I've got it set to 0.3, which means my roughing pass is going to be 0.3 of a mil oversized, and my skin thickness there is going to be 0.8 of a mil. And then my finishing tool is going to come back through and remove both of those materials at the same time. Hopefully you found that one helpful. That's a great new feature of version 11, the ability to assign a roughing tool and a finishing tool to your cutout toolpaths. Thanks for watching.